Why I do this, why I created the Thrive Metabolic Blueprint. I'm about to share something I've never shared publicly before, and I'm going to do my best to get through it without getting choked up, but absolutely no promises. So if you're with me, bear with me because we're about to dive in. So I believe there are moments in life that permanently change how we see health. And this is one of mine. April 13th, 2024. I made a decision that day that changed my life, changed my friend's life, and could potentially change your life. It was a Saturday, and like most Saturdays, I started that day at my desk, looking at my schedule at my fitness studio, making the decision, do I go in today or do I just stay here and work and get all my to-dos cleared up? And I remember distinctively Lori walking by my office and she said, "Are you going to go to work today or are you going to stay and just do your stuff?" And I said, "You know what? I feel like I'm going to stay and do my stuff." And then something hit me out of the blue. I said, "But you know what? No, I'm going to go in. I'm actually going to go into the studio today." She said, "Why?" I said, "Well, you know what? A particular client was going to be there and I really enjoy spending time with them. And I wanted to see them that day. So I made the decision. I went to my studio, that's not the epiphanal moment. I mean, I do that all the time. Fast forward, I'm standing in my studio. Probably the workout had been going on for maybe 10 minutes. We're in the early stages of the warm up. And my client, my friend, collapsed right in front of me. No warning signs, no buildup, no nothing. One moment, everything was normal. And the next moment, absolutely nothing was normal. He had suffered an aortic aneurysm. And I don't know how many of you know anything about an aortic aneurysm, but that's got about a 99% death rate. And I don't know how many of you have had someone that you love die in your arms, but it changes you. And it's happened to me a few times, sadly enough, or maybe not sadly enough in my life. I've been called to have to keep someone that I love alive. And I didn't know that morning that I would be put in that position. I didn't know that I would be performing, life-saving measures while waiting for the paramedics. And I didn't know that this moment would stay with me long after the emergency had passed. And by the grace of God, he survived. He's alive today. And I'm grateful for that every single moment. I think about it often. He and I text each other pretty often, when often the text just simply says, "I love you, brother." And that goes back and forth. And no other words really need to be said because, like I said, once you go through something like that, you're changed forever and you're bonded. But that's not what this is about. I want to try to power through that. But again, this was, April 13th, 2024, and I still have trouble talking about it. But here's the part that changed me forever. That aneurysm didn't come out of nowhere. It was actually caused by years of uncontrolled blood pressure, years of silent stress on his cardiovascular system, years of warning signs that existed long before the emergency ever happened. And that day forced a question into my mind that I've been unable to shake. Again, this was in April 13th, 2024. And I've thought about this day ever since. Why do we wait until something breaks to pay attention? Because the truth is, most emergencies aren't sudden at all. They're not silent. They build quietly while people are holding everything together. They're told they're fine. They're told they're normal. They're within ranges. Their blood work looks okay, even though they don't feel okay at all. They don't feel fine at all. That disconnect is why I'm recording this episode. That disconnect is why I do what I do. I've been helping people with wellness and weight loss and health and fitness and all kinds of different avenues for the last 3 decades. But that day left a lasting impact on me. That day is the reason that I created my new Thrive Metabolic Blueprint. And I want to be super clear with why I'm recording this episode. This is not about fear. It's not about panic. It's about responsibility and awareness. Our medical system is absolutely overwhelmed and in a lot of cases broken. Doctors are unbelievable people. Thank God that they do what they do. Nurses, everyone in the medical field, just unbelievable humans, but they're overwhelmed. They're burdened. They're buried under appointment after appointment after appointment, right? And appointments are short. Conversations are rushed. Prevention is rarely rewarded in our society. Emergency response gets all of the accolades. I thought of this today when I was when I was preparing to record this episode. Illness is covered by insurance. Health is all out of pocket. Let that sink in for a second. That's crazy, right? That's another example of a broken system. Most people go into the doctor, they get blood work done, and they're told everything looks normal. They're within quote unquote ranges. And that's the end of the conversation. But they're exhausted. They're inflamed. They're gaining weight. They can't explain why. Their sleep is off. Their energy's gone. They don't feel like themselves at all. And slowly they begin to doubt their own experiences. Slowly they begin to adapt to that feeling of just being okay. Well, let me say this clearly. Normal on paper doesn't mean optimal in your body. Within range doesn't necessarily mean that you feel like you're supposed to feel. Blood work without explanation is not insight. Blood work without education is not empowerment. Blood work without a plan is just numbers on a page. You can't take action on what you don't understand. You can't prevent what you haven't identified. And you can't fix what you're not measuring correctly. And this is where people get stuck. They're trying, they care, they're making an effort, but they're following strategies that were never built for their particular biology. And when things don't work, they blame themselves. They get frustrated. They get more overwhelmed. That day at the studio shifted something deep inside of me. I realized that I didn't want to be the person trying to save someone once their body has reached the breaking point. I want to help people long before that moment ever exists. I want people to understand what is happening inside their body while there's still time to change it. That, again, is why I created the Thrive Metabolic Blueprint. It's not another program. It's not a challenge. It's not another one-size-fits-all plan. It's a bridge. It's a bridge between a broken, overwhelmed medical system and real life. A bridge between confusing lab results and clear understanding of what's happening in your body. A bridge between feeling off and knowing and understanding exactly why and knowing how to fix it. It's data-driven. It's biology-based. It's an approach for your health based on your metabolic numbers. We're going to look at inflammation, insulin resistance, nutritional deficiencies, liver stress, thyroid patterns, hormonal signals, all the metabolic markers. And then we're going to connect the dots because the body's not broken. It's trying to communicate. But most people have simply never been taught how to listen to that communication. And based on the metabolic data, we create a customized plan of action using nutrition, movement, supplementation, sometimes pharmaceutical recommendations, sleep, mindset that actually matches your individual biology. There's no guessing. There's no hoping. There's no copying what worked for somebody else. It's not about trends. It's about fundamental applied intelligence, right? We're going to apply fundamentals that work with your biology, and we're going to apply them intelligently, and you're going to understand why they're being applied. I often say this, and I believe it deeply. Ignored deficiencies turn into unignorable diseases. The moment that you start understanding why there's a deficiency and you start proactively correcting that, you're preventing that deficiency from becoming an actual disease. That moment in my studio made it painfully clear to me that waiting for a wake-up call is a very dangerous strategy. And I'm done watching people drift toward disease while being told they're fine. I'm done watching people lose confidence in their body because the strategy was wrong. I'm done accepting that confusion is normal when it comes to our health. The Thrive Metabolic Blueprint exists because emergencies should not be the first warning sign. I want people to have clarity. I want them to have ownership. I want you to have ownership of your wellness. I want you to know what your doctor's talking about when they say something to you. I want you to go in and have the information that you need. I want to create this. I want to create a medical advocacy for you so that you know what's happening in your body and you're not just saying okay to anything and everything. I want people to have confidence in what's happening on the inside. And this is not about perfection. This is about awareness and action. If you're someone who wants to understand your health instead of guessing, if you want to be proactive instead of reactive, if you want to play offense instead of defense, if you want to stop outsourcing your body's responsibility, like your responsibility to your body, for your body, then the space was built for you. I didn't create another program. I created this because that day reminded me how fragile life is and how powerful prevention can be. You don't need more motivation. You need more understanding. You need someone that can understand what's happening inside of your body with your biology and your metabolic health. And that's exactly what the Thrive Metabolic Blueprint was built to provide. So if this sounds like something that you might be interested in finding out more about, if you know me, you know exactly how to get a hold of me. You have my email address, probably my phone number. I'm Jay Nixon at all social media outlets, Facebook. I'm the Jay Nixon on Instagram. You can easily find me. You can send me an email at info@thriveforeverfit.com. We'll respond to you immediately. We'll set up a call. We'll make sure that this is right for you. And we'll prevent the preventable. And we'll get you feeling like you're supposed to feel. Being okay is not okay anymore. Thanks for listening, guys.